Vision. Vision's very important for staff. And at Upper Canada, we had a lot of different ideas on what our vision could be. And we were a new, growing company in a craft industry that was brand new. For the second time around with Steam Whistle, we wanted to have a vision that would apply to all staff and would apply for all time. So we came up with this idea. Our vision would be the most respected premium beer in the country. So there's no specific mnemonic. That doesn't mean that we have to be in every beer store, every liquor store across the country. Just that people have to trust us and believe in us and feel that we are a respectable brewer, Canadian brewer of premium beers. Maybe someday someone's traveling in Europe and they're in a bar in Germany and the bartender asks them, what are the great beers made in Canada? And one of the ones they'll mention could possibly be Steam Whistle Pilsner. That's really been our dream from day one, and we're 17 years into it now, and Nancy, who answers our phones, likes to say we're partway through our 50-year plan. It was mentioned in one of the videos, though, if you're really going to establish a brand and respect in a community or in a country longer term, it takes 50, it takes 100 years to really do that, and that's, we look at this business long term. People ask us, are we going to sell the business? A lot of breweries get sold. We're not for sale. This is our life, this is our lifestyle, and we'll continue with that. Our focus, you may have heard Steam Whistle makes only one beer. The reason we started out doing that is simple. We put a business plan together and got a loan from the Royal Bank, which was hard to get. At the time, I'm 10 years older than my partner Cam, so Sybil and I had a house, and Cameron had a 10-speed. So we had to sit down and say, okay, we have two young boys, we don't want to lose our house, how can we simplify the equation? And we had lots of experience with the other brewery, and we knew that the most popular beers that we were selling, the ones that sold the best, were the profitable ones, and a lot of the ones that were slower selling were taking away from the bottom line. So we came up with the idea, let's just get one beer right. And then when we do that, when we've nailed it, then we'll move on to look at other beers. Now the thing about Pilsner is it's the most difficult style to perfect. A lot of craft breweries make ales, high gravity beers that have a lot of sweetness to them. And if there's issues in a beer like that, it's easier to mask them. But in a Pilsner, which is crisp and clean, if there's a problem, we're all going to taste it pretty much right away. So we knew it was going to take focus to get it right. In the second year of our business, I had an ad firm call me and say, we've got some great ideas to promote your brand. And I explained at the time that we really believe in using our own staff for all of our creative. They're the ones who are most intimate with the brand. They understand how it works. A lot of young folks working for us have great ideas, so we don't really employ third-party folks to help us out. And he said, you know what, though? My partner and I stood out front of the Roundhouse downtown Toronto, and we asked people, what do you know about Steam Whistle? And there were two consistent answers we heard from them, and I think you'd want to hear them. Well, I had to hear. We didn't have any money for research, so I told Cam this. He said, get him in, let's talk to them. So they came in and they told us the number one thing people said they knew about Steam Whistle was that you were in the Roundhouse. And I said, well, yeah, ask the question right up front. Come on, what else is there? And what he said was very important to us. People understand that you, for some reason, only make one beer. What other brewery only makes one style of beer? They didn't really know why you were doing it, but they understood this clearly. And then he explained this. Brands are something you come up with an idea for as a small business developing an idea or business plan. But the day you open your doors, the brand leaves into the hands of the consumers. And then they're the ones who judge you and tell their friends who you are and what you're all about. And it's very difficult to influence that. So what you need to do is take something that people know about your business, people know about your brand, and use that to convince people that that itself is the reason to purchase. So then he asked us, why are you only making one beer? I said, well, quality, we needed to get it right, and we're still working on that. And he said, well, my suggestion is keep working on that. Become the expert at brewing Pilsners in Canada, and tell people that you do one thing really, really well. This was his idea that he came up with after interviewing customers outside our brewery. We thought it was a brilliant idea. We agreed to it right away. And he said this, though. He said, if you adopt this idea, do one thing, then you can never make another style of beer again. Because as soon as you do that, you're going against your customer promise. And Cam and I took a couple of minutes and said, well, I mean, we're doing okay. We're growing our business with this one beer, and it is our greatest point of difference against our competition. And who else is going to be crazy enough in North America to only have one beer? So, I mean, 17 years later, I don't think there's a brewery in North America that makes only one beer. There could possibly be, we haven't heard about it yet. But that's what's crazy about us, and that's what sets us apart. Our cathedral of beer, quick story on this one. We wanted to have a place that would inspire people. A friend of mine is an ice cream maker in the city, Greg's Ice Cream, and he tells me this story that families come in and the kids want to see the Willy Wonka back end where the incredible ice cream's made. And he said it's kind of disappointing for them because it's just stainless steel tables and freezers. So he said to me, if you're going to build a craft brewery, build one that will meet and exceed people's expectations. So we searched around using a commercial agent. We couldn't find anything. I said to Cam, let's just drive around. We'll find something. We got in the car and right away drove by the Roundhouse, which is downtown Toronto by the CN Tower. And so I ran up and took a look in the window, and it had been recently renovated. And there was a sign out front that said, for commercial use proposals, call this number. So I ran back to the car. Cameron got on the phone and got through a gentleman that was in charge of vetting the proposals for the city. Actually, the gentleman that was running the CN Tower at the time. The city had a partnership for commercial use in their heritage buildings. They were partnering with business to try to make the right decision on it. And so Cam gets on the phone. Have to keep in mind he's 24 years old. I was 34. Gets on the phone and says, Bud Purvis was the senior guy at the CN Tower. He said, Bud, we got this idea. We want to build a brewery in the Roundhouse, man. And I'm thinking, that's not going to work. This guy's an executive. And then Cam goes, yeah, Cam Heaps, yeah. My mom's Heather. She sold your house yesterday? Excellent. So then it was like, oh, you know my dad, Frank, Upper Canada. Yeah, okay, sure. So Bud said, listen, I know your dad. Come in and see me and tell me your crazy idea. So we got in there, and it took us 6 months. We had to go through city council because the Roundhouse is city-owned property. But they liked our idea because we were going to have a craft brewery there. People could come and see what was going on. And our tour staff would tell the important story of the Roundhouse and the role it played in really developing, pioneering Canada as a railway facility for CP Rail. What's not in this picture are the people that makes Steam Whistle happen. And so from Frank, we got this idea that our staff are our first consumers, really. We like to call them our first consumers. So the day, March 22nd, 2000, coming up on 17 years, that was the day when our bottles first came off the production line. And those were the people, including myself, who took those bottles home, tried them, spoke to their friends and their family about it, and told the story of Steam Whistle. And how is that story told? That's what's really important to a small business. So ideally, if these people are happy with what they're doing, if they believe in what we believe, then things are going to go well. Staff must believe in what you're doing. If they don't, then you cannot be successful. Simple as that. So instead of hiring somebody and tell them you're the customer service officer, take care of your staff. Have them believe in your business just the same way you do. Provide them opportunities to invest, engage, give them respect, and the outcome will be a successful growing business and a solid bottom line.